Well, hello friends and family, fellow YouTubers. I'm doing this video a little bit earlier. It's going to go on Monday, as my usual rabbit updates are. Today is actually Friday, and I'm out in the bunny barn just doing a checkup. It's about noontime, and we're supposed to get really, really cold tonight. We're going to be down into the teens. In fact, we're going to be teens, single numbers, I guess, for the next few days. But I have one of my young does here. This is a sweet little girl. She hasn't been handled as much as I really wish. This one was actually supposed to be a little boy. Bought her. I was looking for a lavender buck. And, one day I was brushing her, and it's like, wait a minute, this isn't a little boy, this is a little girl. So, she was born February 2nd. This is Layla. Previous name was Chip. Leanna had named, when we thought it was a little boy, she had named him Chip. Anyway, she's a sweet girl. And I really need to breed her. She's in the 9th month. And I don't have a lavender buck that isn't related to her. Every boy that I've got here, lavender, or in the Rex, is related. And I really don't want to breed her to one of my New Zealand boys. Even though they'd be sweet boys. I mean, Mandy, she was bred to Buster, and she's got gorgeous, gorgeous rabbits. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. Last night I kind of did a search in one of the local ad books that we have. I found some Rexes. Really wasn't what I was looking for, except for one. There might be a possibility on one. I'd like to keep the lavender strain. Mocha. Adrian's my chocolate buck, but his mom is the same mom to this one. Smokey is actually Mandy's mom. Where'd that? Smokey's mom is Mandy, and Smokey's dad is Thumper. Now, most of the bucks that I have here are from the Thumper line, and I need to get a Rex buck away from that Thumper line. When I purchased these, I wasn't thinking. If I wanted to keep them, if I wasn't concerned about trying to keep the Rex line, I've got, Buster would do an awesome job. I think they'd have awesome kits, a lot of color. But I really want to keep the Rex line. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with her. I just wanted to take her out and handle her a little bit. I say she hasn't been handled much. She's been brushed. I trim her nails, but I really haven't loved on her like some of the other ones. And a lot of it is she is shy. And she's doing very well. I'd like to see her ears up. I like when I see Bunny's ears up. So, I guess in today's video, as I'm brushing her, go over a few of the things some of the questions that I've had. One of them, and I've had this asked a few times, how do I heat my barn? I have a little heater right here. It's a little ceramic heater. Stands, I don't know, probably 2.5 feet tall. I do run that at night on low, only because I'm running everything on this barn with an extension cord, and I have to be careful. I don't need to heat the plugs up. My plan is to run a line from the house to the barn underground, and I just didn't get there. There was some things that I wanted to do to the building first before I did that. Number one, I wanted to vinyl side it, and I'd rather do that before I run the wire in here. So anyways, that's how I heat the barn. Now, I've got the clear plastic. Let me shine it up there so you can see. I've got every other one on the south side. I have the clear plastic panels. That allows a lot of sun. Now, right now, it's, I think, 27 degrees out. Wind is howling outside. And I am somewhere around 58, 59 degrees in here. So, and the heater's off. You know, so I can warm the barn up pretty good during the day. It's just keeping it warm enough at night. And, you know, Mandy's babies are big enough, old enough they could handle even if it got down to 30 degrees. Daisy's babies, they're old enough now, they could handle it. But I like to make it easier on them. I don't want to be pouring a whole lot of food in just to keep everybody warm. And I want them to be comfortable. I want to be comfortable when I'm working here. Hey, sweetheart. Cleaning the brush off your shed. I don't, you know, I want to be comfortable when I'm working in here too. So, yeah, so that's what I use, is this little heater at night. As a rule, the lowest I'll get is about 42 degrees. So I'm good with that. Now, this little heater, it cost about $10 a month to run this. This is what we found, that the electric bill went up. So, you know, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So, some of the other questions. I have one, I wish I could remember her name, Christy, I think. And I'm thinking this is a young girl, possibly a teen. She's been following the videos, asking a lot of great questions. She wanted to know what I had for breeds. Excuse the noise. We have somebody out back that works on snowmobiles. So we started out with New Zealand's. I have the fawn-colored New Zealand buck, Sugar. Everybody's seen Sugar. Sugar is my New Zealand white doe. And then we have the inside bunny, who is a satin mini Rex. So we have New Zealand's. Then this past spring, actually about a year ago, I think it was end of January, beginning of February, we bought Mandy, who is a New Zealand doe. She's the lavender, just like this sweetheart here. I wanted to get into the Rex. I love the fur. I love their disposition. Just gorgeous, gorgeous animals. So we have New Zealand's, we have Rexes. We have Melania, who I can't tell you what she is. She's mixed, I'm sure. You know, she's a good-sized rabbit. Good size. I'm going to say she's right around the 9.4 in her weight. Looking at her, I would say she's probably got a little bit of Californian in her. She looks like a Hoto. But I didn't think the Hoto got that big. So I'm not sure. And why I say that with rings around her eyes. Daisy, who is right here with a litter of 7 kits, is a New Zealand. I bought her She's a New Zealand, California cross. She is the only really Californian cross that I have here. I'm not real fond of the Californian. And mostly because of the ones that I've seen, their disposition isn't that great. And I'm not saying that they don't have a good disposition. I know a lot of people, I've seen their videos, they do really well. It could be that the breeders that I've gone to, just don't handle the rabbits like I do. With me, and this is why, I have a lot of people comment on how quiet my rabbits are. Even when people come in here, and my rabbits don't like strangers coming in here. They're very shy to that. But they get over it fairly easily. And it doesn't take long before they're finally back to the front of the cage and looking to be pet. And I do spend a lot of time with my rabbits. The clean out. Every day, every other day, my trays are all cleaned out. I can run a vacuum in here. I've got a little vacuum. Sometimes you might have seen it hanging up there or down on the floor behind me. And for the most part, they're pretty good. There are certain ones, if they had a litter of kits, I would not run my vacuum in because they are shy to that. Nails. Nails are trimmed on average about once a month. Do I have to do the nails once a month? I don't have to, but I choose to do that. 2 reasons. It doesn't take long before, if you don't do something, before you forget about doing it. So I don't want to let it go 3 months, 4 months and have huge talons. But the other thing I like to do, an overall inspection. I want to check their ears. When these guys are inside, chances of getting ear mites is probably slim to nil. I want to check their teeth. I want to check their eyes. I want to check and make sure they're not dirty around their privates. I want to feel them. I want to see how they are weight-wise. Nice, sweetheart. And I want to take a nervous, spastic rabbit like she used to be into something like this, where I can work with her. The other thing is, if I'm selling a rabbit, I want whoever's buying it to be able to work with them. And for the most part, that's what's happened. My sweetie, you're such a good girl. Such a good girl. I want to get to know my rabbits, and I want them to get to know me. So, to me, it's very important for this hands-on. When people come in the barn and they see 38 cages, lined up on both sides of the barn, and, people wonder, how can you spend that much time with them? Well, it doesn't mean that I have to spend a half hour or an hour with this one particular rabbit. When I take them out to brush them, I may only spend 5 minutes with them. But that 5 minutes is quality time with them. And I try to make when I take them out of the cage, I did a video on the right way to take rabbits out of a cage. They're not all stressed out the way I handle them that way. When I take them out, they go right up against my stomach and chest. That way their feet are on, they're not struggling. I sit down in my chair. Usually the first thing I do is I just rub them right from the head, down this way. And that usually settles them down pretty good. And then I go to my brush. And when I'm done brushing them, then I do the flipping over and I, trim their nails, check to make sure that there's no problems with their feet, sore hocks or anything. You know, and you can do that in a 5-minute period. And, you know, it's quality time with that rabbit. Just make everything positive. You know, I might be in a rush, um, but I don't rush it and make quick movements and harsh. You know what I'm saying? I hope everybody understands what I'm saying. So, getting back to this young lady's question, do I cross any of my rabbits? Yes, I do cross some of them. And like I said, I need to get her bred, and if I can't find a buck, I really don't want to bring another buck in here. And of course, the quarantine time. But I really need to get her bred. So I may end up, her first breeding, I may end up putting her with Buster. And then work on doing something for a buck later on down the road. Boy, you're shedding and I'm getting it all over my face. So Daisy, who is my New Zealand Californian cross doe that I bought, she was bred to Smoky. So now she's got, her babies have Californian, New Zealand, and Rex. And they are beautiful, beautiful babies. Mandy, because, and actually I did have a buck that I could have used on her, but I didn't. I used Buster on her, and she has got gorgeous babies. You've seen those in other videos that I've done. So, I'm trying to think. Baby, I still have 7 of her babies left. And they're getting big. Those guys were born September 23rd, I believe. These guys are getting big, both the girls and the boys. You know, and as far as selling, you know, you could take the 3 does that I have left of Sugar's litter, who were born September 26th, you could take those rabbits and take one of the bucks of babies. Those would be unrelated. And you could have some unreal kits out of those. You know, some really, really nice colors. You may end up getting some New Zealand, the white. You could get the lavenders. You could get the browns. Possibly even some of the black rabbits out of them. They'd be a great cross. And I think because of knowing both moms, knowing the dads, you could have some great, good-sized rabbits. You know, so if you were looking for meat, you know, I think that would be a good cross. And if you were thinking of doing something for pelts, you could have some really, really nice pelts out of them too. So, you know, just something, you know, and here's another thing. If somebody was to buy a trio, I don't discuss my prices on my videos. I know I had one gentleman ask. I just don't do that. I can tell you that on my rabbits here, they're going to go between $20 and $45. That's the range that I go. Usually my crosses are less. But if somebody was to buy a breeding trio, I would charge you my normal price for that doe. You know, if you're getting 2 does, it would be my normal price for that doe times 2. And then for the buck, I would take $10 off that one's price. You know, just to help somebody get started. And I think that would be a fair price. I think my prices are very, very reasonable. And you know what you got. You know, I mean, you've got a gentle rabbit, something that you can work with. And that's been my mission right since I first started, is rabbits that can be handled. You know, and I love the success stories. I sold a buck the other day to a girl, and, you know, she, it was so comical. She was buying for another family. She had 2 does, and she wanted a buck to go with those two does. And she was bringing some of the boys that she had and comparing them to the one that I had brought. And she said, I just love his form. You know, she mentioned the head, and that little boy has Buster's head. Buster's got a broad head. He's big all over. But then it went to its forever family. And she had sent me pictures of it, and, you know, the guy was holding him, and they love him. You know, he's so gentle, and, you know, those are the success stories that I love. I just talked to a lady that I sold, actually it would have been, I believe, Babies, the New Zealand Rex Crosses. She had bought 2 does for her daughters. And, you know, I got a response today saying how they love the rabbits. They fit in really well. Her girls love them. They're gentle. I love those success stories. You know, it's all about doing this, taking this time to spend with them. So, you know, I'm going to keep this video short. I'm already, 20 minutes into it. That was just answering a couple of the questions that you've had, showing off one of my does. So I want to thank you for taking the time. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Those who have supported this channel, thank you so much for doing that. You know, taking on average 20 minutes to a half hour to view what I've got. Just helping this channel out. I want to thank you. You know, there's some of you who share my videos with other people. I want to thank you so much for doing that too, because of doing that, I've gained subscribers. And I'm not all about the numbers. You know, I'm nowhere near subscribers or watch time on my videos to be monetized. But, you know, I'll get there eventually. Hopefully once I get back out into the garden and I can share my gardening experiences with you, that might grow the channel quick. But just helping out people, you know, being able to answer questions for those who are thinking about getting into rabbits. You know, I can share some of the hardships that I've gone through, you know, mistakes that I've made, things that I've learned from other people. And there are different channels that I have for go-to channels, you know, for questions that I have. You know, it seems with me, I'm always going to find the things that it seems like nobody's ever gone through. You know, so I'm constantly searching, you know, how can I better do this? How can I get over this dilemma? Or, you know, so I want to thank you guys. Thank you so much. Love you guys. God bless you.